Hi, I'm Xysis, and this is Victoria 3, and we're playing as Prussia into Germany. And we left off last episode with a revolution brewing down here. So we need to deal with this, and they are, of course, they want to enact, this movement, to enact the dedicated police force, which has high support and high radicalism. We do have a bit of a problem with radicals in our nation that we're gonna have to deal with today, in several ways. Now, this revolution, it's not as bad as one would think by just looking at the counter there. Let's get rid of the intelligentsia and see if we can get it up. Now, the revolution speed is plus 10 per week, which means that in 10 weeks we will have a revolution. However, there is also a maximum limit, which we can't see at the moment. No, it's here. The political movement, radicalism of the political movement. That was a tongue twister. Is plus 50, which means that it'll top out at 50 at the moment. It'll go up a little bit further than that, I assume. But somewhere between 50 and 60 it should top out for now. Because otherwise we've got quite a long time. It's about 20 weeks until we have the next checkpoint for charity hospitals. We do have a 29% chance to succeed with this one. And if we manage to advance it, we'll let it go. Otherwise we'll probably have to drop it just to reduce the radicalism here. They really don't want to have this healthcare system in place. It's only the church that wants it in place, of course. And they are the only group we have that are loyal at the moment. So the intelligentsia here are not very happy with us at the moment, which has lowered our prestige. That just happened, and they'll probably get up here soon enough as well. We are, of course, at war with the Great King as well, which is a wee bit of a problem. But we are losing this war, and we haven't done anything, but this helps to drive up our radical count a little bit more, because we are at war, I'm fairly sure of. It doesn't say anything here, but it should do. And our budget doesn't really like the situation we are in either. So one of the things we can do to decrease the amount of radicals is, of course, to increase the standard of living. If we just check how it is, Prussia is quite low all over the board. Some states are worse off than others, of course. Here in the Rhineland and North Rhine they're doing fine. Brandenburg is doing fine, and East Prussia is doing fine. These are the places we have been building a lot of things in, or that have a lot of, and Silesia is doing okay as well. Now 12 isn't that good, but it's okay. No, we still want to have this one on. And these are... no idea what these are. Not supposed to be there. Let's just hide them. We never saw them, right? Okay, so this is standard of living in the entire world. Quite nice. Britain's doing very good. France is doing okay. And usually we have one state minors I've seen that end up really high. Like this one here in Lucca. It's of course easier to employ everyone in a small economy. We're missing engines. We are setting up a motors factory. Or an engine factory. That should be sorting that out. We could probably start off a trade route for that. We have a little bit of bureaucracy to play with, but we probably want to check out our market first. Let's get rid of the trade lands. And we want to be looking at base goods, things that our population is using. We've got grain here, which is, they're using a lot of it. Grain can be substituted for groceries, it can be substituted for fish, and it can be substituted for meat, I believe, as well. In a certain extent, so meat is fairly cheap at least. But so we would like to get the price of grain down a bit. I wonder if we can right click here. No. yeah, we can set here market policy. So we want to protect our domestic supply on wheat. Now there's no one actually buying our wheat, but we might as well protect the supply that we do have. Our wood, however, we don't have any exports there either, but we would like to protect our wood supply as well. Services can't be exported, and we have a slight surplus of them, which makes them cheaper, which is good for a population. And that's an internal only one. We probably want to protect the cloth as well going forward. Clothes here. We have the Swedes are importing clothes from us. And that might be something, since we do have a deficit, we might want to put up protect our domestic supply there as well. Let's earn us a little bit more cash from any exports going out from these. Don't have any exports of paper. We probably do want to, we are producing paper, and we're probably not going to be importing it, so we want to protect that supply as well. We have trade routes for furniture, again to the Swedes. So I think we might have a trade agreement with the Swedish since game start. Groceries too, we have no one buying that. We might want to be exporting fish in a bit, but at the moment that's fine. We are producing a little bit of transportation, we can't export that. Now we probably want to protect our domestic supply of groceries as well. Iron is usually something that a lot of people want to buy from us. We're selling 1,000 iron and we've got a 600 deficit, so we definitely want to be protecting this as well. And the same thing here with our tools. We are exporting to the Swedes and to the Ottomans. We will protect our domestic supply there as well. Coal is also one of these things that Prussia tends to be a good producer of, so we want to protect our domestic supplies. Now we have a bit of a problem with fertilizer, which is the opposite, of course. The price is too low, so we want to encourage exports here. It'll decrease our money a little bit, but it will hopefully increase the... It'll make it so that we don't have any tariffs at all on fertilizer, which means that it should be cheaper for other nations to buy it from us. And glass is also something we want to protect. Wonder if we are exporting any lead. We are exporting lead to the Swedes and the Danes. We do have a surplus at the moment, so that's fine, but it's not that big. And we're going to be increasing our lead usage soon as well. Steel is fairly balanced at the moment. But we are exporting steel to the Swedes again. I definitely think we have a trade agreement going with the Swedes there. We are selling off sulfur, and the price of sulfur is a little bit high. And let's protect our domestic supply. Let's do the same for steel actually. We're going to be using a lot of steel in a bit, so we're going to have to up our production, which means that the other nations will want to buy it from us, just because we have a high production of it. Hardwood, we probably want to encourage exports to keep our price of hardwood up, at the moment at least. Dyes are balanced. Explosives, we want to probably encourage imports. We just need to increase production here, there's nothing going in or out from here. But if we can get the price of fertilizer up, we can increase the price here as well. Clippers, we can probably increase our fishing wharves. We are importing a lot of them though. And that's probably we can probably set this to protect our domestic suppliers so that they don't get exported. That'll lower the import tariffs. So it'll be easier for someone else to come and sell in our market. And same thing with liquor here. We will protect our domestic supply, which hopefully will get someone to come and buy or sell them to us. We will encourage exports of meat, as we are producing a lot of it. Wine, I probably want to protect our domestic supply. We do have a small wine production. And these luxury goods can probably be set as they are. I don't think we're exporting anything. We are exporting some fruit. But we don't need to protect our fruit supply either. Now we're not going to be producing any art for the foreseeable future, so we'll protect our domestic supply and hopefully someone will... Actually, no. We have someone selling. Okay, so we do have an art academy somewhere there. Well, we'll just put it to no priority. That'll be fine. Luxury clothes we have. We are importing at the moment. Yeah, we're not producing any luxury clothes because we put our clothes mill to just produce ordinary clothes because we do have a deficit, a big deficit of them. As for arms here, I probably want to try to get some... We might be able to close down that trade route, and that should make the shipyard more profitable. I think that's the better way to go with man of wars. And the second one as well. And that will let our shipyard instead produce. They can still employ up, they should be able to produce 15 man of wars and we require 14. And this should increase the profitability of this, yeah, instantly. So we unpause there for a bit just to let the market settle down into the new situation. And we can see what's, if anything's happened here. It doesn't look like we are. Let's check the iron. That was the one we were exporting a lot of. Yeah, we're still exporting a lot, and it's probably to the French. Yeah, the French and the Ottomans are buying a lot of it. But now at least we are getting a little bit more of the money from it. We're getting double the tariffs that we got before. So we have a bureaucratic shortfall. We do want to increase the bureaucracy in our nation. We are building up some fishing wharves, the motor industry. Probably want to prioritize the motor industry to get it set up, because there are quite a few, there are some railroads that need motors in our trade zone or our customs union. We can switch our infantry up to skirmish infantry. This will require munitions though. And how was the price of munitions on our market? It's a little bit high, but we're exporting a bit of it. We're producing 150. And we're using 150. Alright, so we're more or less balanced. I think this is just a few of the buildings that we've captured that are still on line infantry. And we'll fix these all up once we get a little bit further in our unification of Germany. Yeah, we don't need to think too much about that. Oh, and turmoil. So Posen is in turmoil. And we can see here that we have a large Catholic group and a large Polish group of citizens here. And if we check on our cultures, we can see that our primary culture is North German and our state religion is Protestant. So these Poles are discriminated against, and the Catholics are as well. So if we go into our decrees, we probably want to... we should be able to get rid of the road maintenance here and here. We'll see how that works out for us. Now we got violent suppression going here. I think instead we will go for promote national values. And let's get rid of that violent suppression. We will do the same thing, I think, in... where do we have our... we have some other large populations of non-integrated cultures. We're mostly North German in Silesia, but we do have a large Polish population as well, and a large population of Catholics. And I think the same is true here in Prussia. Prussia is not so much for religion, and they're mostly North German, okay. But here in West Prussia and Danzig, which is... no, we're not getting the name tag, okay. We also have a large population of Polish Catholics, so we might want to make sure that Silesia and West Prussia also nationalize a little bit. So we'll promote our national values in these three states as well. And seems like some of our relations there improved. So at 1000 influence we get the plus 25% infamy decay, which of course is what we want, so we can get below 25 as soon as possible and integrate more states. Now we're gonna have to do something about that bureaucracy. It's easiest to do from here, I think. Bureaucracy is something that we kind of want to stack. We've got 13 here in Brandenburg, but we also want to spread it out a bit. Yeah, we have bad market access in a lot of these states. We need to get those railways up as soon as possible. So we might need to cancel this one here. Let's cancel and put the road maintenance back on. And we probably need the road maintenance back on here too. And we might be able to make them a little bit happier by removing the tax on liquor. Oh, that's making so much money at the moment. Don't think that's a good idea for our treasury. No, we don't want a defensive pact with Lübeck. Mecklenburg is wanting to join in with us here. But let's fix this infrastructure first. So we'll have to cut off one. I think West Prussia was the one that was least useful there at the moment. So these are temporary until we get the railroads running. But before we press this one, at the moment we have an infamy down now of below 25, which means we have a little bit of a boost to relations, or rather we haven't got get a minus 10 relations for having more than 25 infamy. So we're at minus 52 here. We can't get them into our union just yet, because this obligation is only worth 50. If we hover over, it should be over here. Or over there, yeah. So we're still at minus 2 with Oldenburg. We can't get them in just yet. I think Hamburg might be... Yes, we want to get Hamburg in here as well. And they are at minus 62. Brunswick. They are at minus 54. I might be able to, if we're in the diplomatic lands, actually just hover. No, we can't see we can only see their attitude, not their... Not how they're actually... What they would think of it. So minus 53 and minus 59. Do we have... We have an obligation there. Do we have one with Bremen? No, we don't have an obligation with Bremen yet. With Oldenburg, I think we do. Yes. With Hanover, we don't yet. So we want to wait until we've got a Brunswick, I think we do as well, yeah. So we need a few more obligations here before we can get them all into our union. So there's a flood in Pomerania. And that's a lot of devastation. So we have, let's see where we can find that. Pomerania's up here. And devastation, it won't show up until we've actually pressed this one, I think. But it reduces infrastructure and the throughput. And that's a lot of expenses for 5 years. And I'm not sure we can handle those just yet. Without increasing taxes for the entire nation. How is our GDP growing? Now we probably need to use this money for somewhere else, so we'll take the and the risk of famine. No, we'll have to pay this. So the devastation here with 10% will reduce infrastructure by 10%, migration attractiveness and mortality increases. And we'll let that burn off then. And now we're at a very staggering negative. So we need to start building up some industry to fix that. Alright, so we have Mecklenburg Strelitz, this small little miner here. And this is a quite tiny cost, so if we go in and we look at state actions here, you can see that these new territories that we have gotten need to be cored to actually be part of our country. So we have Prussian Mecklenburg here, it's only going to cost 15. Saxony costs 219 and Hesse costs 93. We probably want to wait until we've got... I think if we incorporate Mecklenburg now, once we take the rest of Mecklenburg, it should be... Well, let's test. It's only 15 bureaucracy. And back to the bureaucracy before we forget this time. Let's... no, we want to be there on region... No. Here. There we go. Government administration. So we don't want to build in Westphalia because we don't have the infrastructure for it there. And nor do we in Saxony. Saxony isn't integrated. Brandenburg would be a decent place because we got a big population here already. And we'll get economy of scale, of course, from having more in the same area. But we do kind of want to spread this out as well. Let's build one level in all of our other states. We can build one here in Mecklenburg. We are integrating it. And core territory takes 2 years to integrate. Don't think we can do anything more down here just yet. The Igbo. Now we want to let that cool off just a little bit more. And we'll be able to incorporate this state too, but not while we are growing a colony. And this will take 25 years, because it's not a core territory. Alright, so the war is over. This is good for us. And the charity hospitals here, we failed the debates. So we will abandon this for now. It's causing too much turmoil. And the revolution here got stuck at plus 54. Now the progression speed is 0. But we might as well enact the dedicated police force. That reduces the Junkers' political strength. But otherwise, and it's a little bit less state penalties. But we also get fewer radicals from standard of living decreases, and it allows us to have a larger police force. And we got a massive support for this, so it shouldn't be any kind of issues to pass it through either. We might need to reform our government to include some of these other parties, and it'll make the rural folk, which are really pissed at us at the moment, a little bit happier. So they might let something through. Let's go into the government here. We got the Junkers are the ones that's not going to be very happy about this, are they? Well, start off with throwing out the church, I think. And do we have more? No, we don't get any more legitimacy because it's such a becomes a very big government. That would be okay, but we gain a lot of radicals. Because we are throwing out the largest party, of course. I think if we just keep our government this way, now we got a big success chance anyway. Okay, so we don't need to do anything else there, I think. We are enacting something that the revolution wants, of course, because they started a revolution to have dedicated police force. But we will push the church out, I think, just to increase our legitimacy a bit. We'll try again for the... they didn't really like that. Because now they are in opposition, of course. Which is sad, we lost our pop growth modifier. Political movement of no health system has been disbanded. And the dedicated police force won also. And now we don't have the support for it anymore. Because we had a revolution going, we had high support for this one. We should have... It's probably not worth trying to... And this one will slowly decrease there. Maybe we'll give up on this one as well. Just let the country cool off for a little bit. Try to decrease the amount of radicals. They are still growing from political movement demands. It's this one. Yeah, that one should cool off as well. Okay, so what is happening? Hanover now supports us. And a lot of different things have changed. Let's clear all of that out. Now we probably want to... Yeah, okay, so we're building up those. We want to pop a few of these, I think, up to the top. And we also want these railways up fairly high. And let's pause while we put them up. This is the railway in Westphalia and Silesia to get rid of those. We probably need one here in the North Rhine now as well, yeah. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but we did get go over our limit there. So let's do something like that, I think. So we get some of this administration up and we still get these food buildings, and then we can start building the railways to get rid of the decrease we have going for infrastructure. So we can use the authority for something else. And this revolution should be burning down now. No, that's for agrarianism. You got a high radicalization there too. Or maybe if we... They should be fairly happy with us. No, they're not. They're not happy at all, are they? And they should have... They're getting a lot of strength from radical interest groups there. And from their leader trait. We'll see how the market is going. What's happened to our iron price? The French are still importing. They probably don't make enough of their own. We check. We can check their market as well. We press the French flag. No, not the French flag. We want to press the French market below there. Now we're in on the French market. We can see that for whatever reason steel is cheaper in France than it is in our market, but they're still buying iron from us. This is one of the bugs I think should be fixed pretty soon. That they can be importing from our market. And we have a price of 50 per unit, and they're selling it back in the French market for 42 per unit, and they're making a profit on it. That's a bit weird. Okay, so we got Schwarzburg wants to integrate. I think that's the one here. Yeah, that's the last part of Saxony. That's very good for us. We probably want to check our relations with all of these miners here again. We probably should have checked. We want to see that we have an obligation with them all. So we've got one with Hanover now. But they seem to have... something's happened here with their customs union. I think Hanover has, yeah, they're in the French market now. So it's going to take some time before we can get them into our own. 1856. Well, this means that all of these smaller ones, they should want to come into our union so we can stop bankrolling them. Hamburg. We can get Hamburg in. And we can get Bremen in. No, we don't want to be owing an obligation to them. We can't get Bremen in just yet. Oh, because we don't have an obligation with them. Alright. We should be able to get Oldenburg in because they don't have one. So we'll use our obligation. We get them in, we'll stop bankrolling. Bremen we should still be bankrolling, yes. And Hamburg here we can stop bankrolling. Hanover is a... yeah, this one is a bit of a pain. So we might have to make them into a protectorate instead to get the relations up. Or just absolving the obligation once they get high enough here. That'll give us an instant relations boost. And that should be above this this relation maximum. We'll keep bankrolling them just to keep this moving up to 80. It'll cost us a bit, but it'll be fine. So we are one step closer to unification. We now have Saxony entirely under our control. We can't afford to integrate it yet though. We are using, yeah, because we have a lot of unincorporated. That's only 25% of this. So 20% more. It would be somewhere something right under 80, I think. No, we should be at 70 with 20%. We're going to need railroads here in Saxony as well. So let's get some railroads in. That's 20 infrastructure. If we are at 70, we'll be up at 90. We're going to need 2 levels of railways here, I think. Or we're going to need to scale down on something. Got loads of iron mines here. And the AI must have been building iron mines here, which was probably good for them since the French are importing so much iron. Okay, that's and we're gonna need 2 levels of railways there. Let's just bump them down a bit. And these are probably the highest prioritized ones, since they're going to be at very low market access at the moment. And they are producing a lot of iron here. 98% means we're losing 2% of our goods. Here we're losing almost half of all the goods that this state produces, which is detrimental both to the industry here and to all their mines. So they're producing 200, but we can't get 200 out on the market. Okay, so I think we were a little bit... oh, yeah, we should have waited with integrating them. But we got Brunswick in. Okay, we're gonna need to start up some... we're gonna start bankrolling them again. Because we lost our obligation with them. They were... yeah, they didn't answer before our infamy. We should have waited a little bit with the event there. The integration event, because I kicked our infamy up above 25, so they stopped liking us. If we have... yeah, we're waiting for Bremen there as well. It's a shame here that Hanover is in. Brunswick, I thought they were in on our market. Yeah, they're in our customs union. And Hamburg is in the customs union. Bremen is in their own market. And they are not ready. And we don't have the obligation to get them in there either. Okay, so the revolution here is ticking down at the moment. And this is the agrarian revolution. Because we're not trying to enact any kind of laws, most of this should burn down. We probably need to do something to get the rural folks on our side though. Okay, so this unlocks breech loading artillery. Oh no, smooth bores. Smooth bores is the... No, we've got our arms industries here. It's another production method to increase the artillery. We're gonna make some big changes to all of our industries once we're started to actually integrate the entire country and make some more specialized industries. Okay, so here's the Bessemer process for the steel mills. This allows us to increase the production of the steel mills by a lot. But we're not using that much steel yet. But once we switch over to steel construction, this would be good. We don't really have the economy for it at the moment though. Okay, so we're gonna get these water tube boilers soon. Chemical bleaching would be nice, but that uses more dyes and we're lacking a bit of those at the moment. Sewing machines also uses more dyes, but we do have a massive... we probably want to go for mechanized workshops. Getting these sewing machines would be good. It'll help us with a huge deficit we have of clothes. Yeah, so we're building our railways now. This also means that the motor industry should be up and running. Trains are dirt cheap at the moment. But this should fix itself. We might want to be subsidizing this one actually until... just so that they are full on, but nah. As the railways get finished, they'll fix themselves. Okay, so here we have the Austrian workers. And the trade unions gain influence. At the moment they are marginalized at 2%. And that might be one way to get healthcare in, if we can get the trade unions a little bit more powerful. They like the... you can see now, if we go to detail screen instead, we can see their laws here. They like to have... well, they're okay for charity hospitals too, actually. But they're also for the public health insurance. Which is probably the better one. For the max health systems investment level. So you can increase it up further. Yeah, well, we'll say this is an excellent idea. They get a little bit more interest group attraction. So they will grow a bit faster. We do have the church out now. We probably want to stop bolstering them. That'll give us some more authority. And the bolstering there was on from the start of the game. We just left it on. That means we can promote national values here too. And where do we have? We probably want to put road maintenance into Saxony for now. That should help a little bit with the market access. Yeah, 20%. That's a huge increase. And Nassau. So we probably can't get Bremen in just yet. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we do have an obligation with them. We are at minus 32. So let's hold on to this one a little bit. No, we don't have one. Yeah, we need to wait for another one. I don't think we've got one with Oldenburg yet either. No, it's a 1% chance every month. Can't do anything there, and Brunswick is already in our market. Okay, so we will unify with Nassau. And we got water tube boilers. This allows us to reduce the amount of laborers at the cost of coal and tools. That'll increase the price of coal, of course. Which might or might not be a good idea. So coal at the moment is a little bit too expensive. And now laborers are the... if we went into our... I think the paper mills have them, yeah. The laborers here, they are the lowest earning group in the game. They have a base wage of £5. So decreasing these will actually increase the average wages of the country, and thus increase standard of living. And it'll increase the profitability of the plant because we have less laborers to pay. That's about half, no, a third of the laborers about. And we can replace with machines. So that will increase the balance here because they don't have to pay quite as much in wages. That would be about 1,000 more for the these paper mills at least. So yeah, iron is expensive, but that's because the French are trying to buy it from us. Might actually be able to import it back from France. We do earn a lot more from trying to import it from the Austrians though. Yeah, you can see we can import it back from France again. And it'll actually decrease the price on our market. Which is so absurd that we're importing it back from the French and it lowers the price. But let's say import some iron from the Austrians and it should bring it down, because that of course affects our construction costs as well. But look at the iron here. Oh, it's a long way in. Just have lots of tooltips just to get to this graph. So if we can increase that, it should decrease our construction cost by quite a bit. You can see actually if there's something that we can import to make our grain might be a hard one at this point in time. No, the French have loads of grain we can import. It's probably because it's so expensive on our market at the moment. Russians have some too, but that's we got 1,700 we can import from the French, so and that should cover our deficit there. Let's see if there's any clothes we can import. So the Swiss market has 15 clothes, that's not worth it. And the Belgians have 37, that's not worth it either. So all of these trade route costs 15 bureaucracy. So we want to look at the amounts here as well. So make sure that we can actually cover our demand. And we can substitute clothes for fabric, which we do have, at least on the lower tiers. So I want to check, there's one more here I wanted to check while we were at it. Furniture maybe. We can let it roll there for now. The furniture we've got here. We can import some French furniture, 150. And then it's an overland trade route, so we don't have to pay for convoys. And we'll see if our trade route there levels up. I might want to be looking at coal as well. I don't think there is very much coal to import. No, we could import 15 from Belgium, but it's not worth it. And what more do we have? Glass, maybe. I think we are waiting for our glassworks. No, there's no big producers of glass either. Might need to, or might be able to import some liquor from somewhere. The Austrians have a lot of it. So let's import some absinthe. Wine. The French should have wine. That should be down there. And they do. They have quite a lot of it. So let's grab some French wine. That should make our upper strata a little bit happier. Sugar. And I think, yeah, if we want to go to this Spanish market, we need to use convoys. They've got 100 of it. It might be worth it anyway. We do have some of them. Okay, so Waldeck wants to join in our confederation. Before we got 41 days there, so we might want to just check now. Brunswick's already in our. Let's check Bremen. We don't have an obligation there yet. Oldenburg, don't have an obligation there yet. So let's allow Waldeck in. One more state into the fold. Infrastructure usage here went up again. The railway here is soon finished though. And let's go back to the market and see if there's... that fixed the price on sugar quite well. We're going to increase this by switching our farms over to fruits in a little bit. And we can let the luxury furniture can be a little bit more expensive. We want to build more munitions plants, and maybe we can import some for the time being. No, there's nothing big there. Okay, so let's check if we can export anything. Then we want to check the market price the other way around. None of the base goods. I think we are already exporting as much fertilizer as we can. Yeah, we found some trade route there. Could maybe export more trains, but we've got the railroads coming up, so that's not worth to do that either. Art. Don't think anybody wants to set up a trade route for art. I don't think it's worth it. No, why do we have? No, maybe we can't even export art. Yeah, fine art's down here. We don't produce enough to actually export it. Meat, however, maybe we can find a buyer for. So the Russians want 15, 37 to the British. We have a much bigger surplus, I think, of meat, and so yeah, we need to get rid of more of it. And the same thing with the military goods. There's not a lot to do there. So we just want to wait for the integration here to finish up first. Would be nice to get Anhalt and Hesse Castle in our fold. Okay, so we're starting to gain some influence there. Let's see if we can't improve our relations with a major instead. So, and I'm thinking maybe the British would be good. Now, improving relations with bigger countries cost more. This costs 300 influence. Sweden would be 150. That's with all these small miners. Wonder if... Yeah, Two Sicilies is only 150. And they don't seem to like us very much. So let's do that. Okay, so we got the postal savings unlocked. We're already improving with them. No, they're maxed out. Alright. So let's... yeah, we're almost at the 1300, so let's get the British online there. And Hamburg wants to confederate with us. That's one of the latest one we added to the last one we added to the customs union as well, so that's nice. Welcome to the fold, Prussian Elbe. And in here we have some furniture manufactories. And they are producing just base furniture. Maybe we want to have them actually producing luxury furniture instead. And actually, we can probably drop this down as well. And doing it this way, they should be producing almost exclusively luxury furniture instead. Yeah. And we could have them use water boilers just to help with their profitability a little bit as well. It's quite a small plant down here. It's only a level 2 plant. So now it's a level 2 luxury furniture plant. Yeah. Hess has a terrible market access as well. I wonder if the railroad here is finished. It is. And that should allow us to move that decree over from Westphalia to Hesse instead. If we go back here, we still have some spare capacity in Westphalia, which is nice. And that increases the market access in Hesse, of course. Yeah, Brunswick is it's its own state here now, so it's no, it's split up here. Okay, so the evangelical church call for get some more approval, and it doesn't really cost us anything, or they get really pissed off. And at the moment they are at -1. Getting them to +5 wouldn't really make any big difference for us. But we'll grant them some power. It'll make them happier. It's good to keep these all of these happy. Shame we didn't get one like that for rural folk. Is this, yeah, it's still the agrarianism revolt going here. So we really want to find some kind of way to make the rural folk happy. Other than... and they would really like the dedicated police force. So maybe putting them into government. No, we can't because they are angry. But if we were to start passing the law of dedicated police force again, this should make them happier. Yeah, and that immediately disbands the political movement for it, which is a shame. But it did make the rural folk happier, which means that we might be positive. No, they are plotting their revolution, so we can't actually confirm them, can't put them into the government until this revolution has died down. But we did get them happier because we are trying to enact this. We would really need to get someone in that has a little bit more. If we look back here, we can see who is actually supporting this. The armed forces are there. But we have intelligentsia and petit bourgeois. So if we could get one of those into government. And I think the Junkers are opposing it. Yes, so of course they are, because this local police force gives them power. So of course it would be better for them with local police force than a dedicated police force. Checkpoint is really far ahead. And that's because we could increase it by having more authority. Or more excess authority. Our economy is starting to stabilize though. That's partly because we're getting all of these other nations into our fold, of course. So if we throw the Junkers out and we take the intelligentsia is bigger, but maybe we want the petit bourgeois in as well. Just to increase that enactment chance maximally. We don't get a lot of legitimacy from this though. It's a lot of... the standard of living here is really doing a big thing. There 1.1 million have stopped being radical because they've gotten it better. Because we probably decreased the price of grain was probably the big one there. I think doing this will give us about 30% chance to pass this law, which will make the rural folk happier, and all of these parties as well. At the cost of the Junkers a little bit. It will tank our legitimacy, but I think that's something we just have to live with for now. Yeah, legitimacy increases this a lot though. So maybe that wasn't the best choice to have them in as well. This might be better off for us overall. We'll have a lower success chance, but a much quicker turnaround for it. Okay, so we're building some fishing wharves there. And then we're building up the wheat farms. We do have enough bureaucracy here to integrate Saxony, which will help us with increasing up the infrastructure here as well. I think we are building a second level of... No, we do have... We need another level of railway here. And that probably needs to come quickly. So we'll alt-click that one to get it up to the top here. Fishing wharves will help in Pomerania. Devastation seems to be gone here. And this revolution is slowly dying down now. And they don't have the support anymore because they are happier. So we've got a Belgian revolution going on here. It must be Flanders and Wallonia. No, Belgian liberal revolt. Yeah, maybe they haven't split off just yet. And the Russians are supporting Belgium. Don't think there's any point for us to really go in and do anything there. We can declare neutrality. Let the Belgians do what the Belgians do. And we have... Why can't you command? Can't you command more? Yeah, you should be able to command... Oh, because we got one in a different zone. So we might want to be incorporating there too. We have managed to incorporate Mecklenburg. Let's incorporate Elbe as well. Hesse would probably be a good one as well, but we need some more bureaucracy. So let's make sure that we get some more bureaucracy. That railway still needs to be at the top though. And Hesse Castle finally wants to join in. Let's see if we can get anyone else into our customs union. And why do they have... They are cautious to us now. We should be improving relations as well as bankrolling just to get that up. Yeah, we might have to form a defensive pact or something with Oldenburg. So that means we will take Hesse Castle in and finishes up the state here of Hesse. Made it more expensive to integrate, of course. Lübeck wants a defensive pact with us. I'm not sure we want that though. They are in our market and they have good relations with us. Well, they are improving at least. And because they are in the customs union, it should improve all the way up to 80. Slowly, slowly. Okay, so importing iron from... We can't import dyes anymore. But we're still making a lot of money from this one. Don't know what it's... Oh, it's... they're probably, when they're building things, it's not productive. Oh, we'll leave it be for now. Now we'll have to go down and check on Igbo. Could probably be a good time to Westphalia as well. Why is Westphalia having so much trouble with turmoil? Well, they've got lots of radical pops. They've probably got a lot of peasants here, and the peasants are with the rural folk. And the farmers too. But the farmers are doing really good. They are very wealthy. Peasants here are not so wealthy. That's not that many of them, it's only 1,000. These are probably the ones that that are getting radical. And they're working the subsistence farms. So they're not earning very well. Can check the prices, grain is still high and clothes is really expensive. We're soon done with the sewing machines, that should help with the price of clothes. Indonesia, yeah, we're not really interested in that. We want to check on Igbo down here. Might be time for us to... We're at 78, we can probably grab another few territories here now. Let's unpause this here and let it run for a bit. And now that's because we're bankrolling them, of course. We're getting more... We can get up to the same level. Anhalt, how are you doing? Or at good relations. They need to be above amicable to be able to join into the fold or be absorbed. And as this revolution dies down, of course, the number of radicals should be dying down as well. And the price of clothes have gone up, so standard of living is going down. Input shortage in the glassworks. This we want to check out. So they have a problem acquiring dye, which is something that we can fix down here. We have an input shortage of 115. Let's make sure we're protecting our domestic supply of dye, because we are currently exporting 50. We're only producing 84. So we need another 50 at least here. And we're getting, yeah, so we're alt-clicking these so they go to the top of the queue. I can probably take 3 to bring the price down. We'll double up our production. Okay, so here we go. Here's the sewing machines. This also increases the economy of scale. So we can now have up to 30 buildings. Look here at the logging camps. Now we can't build any more logging camps here, but that's this one. So this one is at 16 because we're 16 buildings above the first one. Now we can have up to 30. It makes a big difference in, for example, the coal mines here that we can have a lot of. And that already have the plus 10% throughput. Should probably be building some more ones, yeah. We need 300 more and we're gaining per level 40. That's about 8 more mines. Wonder if we have, I don't think we've got any more. Let's build 9 of them while we're at it. We get a nice round number. Glassworks should be sorting themselves out. I didn't alt-click those, they go to the end of the queue. Lead is also very expensive. And why is that? We are selling off just 20. Should know it's not very expensive, it's a little expensive. We might want to be protecting our domestic supply of lead as well. We can we'll alt-click up a lead mine just to make sure that we're getting that. We could probably go up to condensing pump here. That would produce a lot more lead, a little bit too much more. Okay, so what more do we want here then? Well, vacuum canning is good, baking powder is good, but we don't have the sugar for it. Sugar to support it. We don't even think we've switched over to sweeteners yet, wherever they are. That's somewhere around here. Nitroglycerin could be a good one. Because we want to get down to improved fertilizers so we can get the grain prices down. What are we at? 48. And we don't need to think about military just yet. We can wait a little bit more. Do we have anything here more that we want? Pan-nationalism maybe. Steel-framed buildings would be a good one. We'd like, well, realism is spreading to us. We would like organized sports and labor movement to spread as well. And then we can bring on steel buildings. Okay, so let's take the nitroglycerin. That'll at least give us the capacity to increase our mining by quite a lot. And we also already have the possibility to massively increase our steel production for the steel buildings when we get there. Since they are producing cheap steel, it might actually be worth to put all the steel mills on water tube boilers just to reduce the amount of laborers they need to pay. They say that this shouldn't be a good trade because the price of materials will go up, I think. But it should increase the profitability of them. Well, the base goods are expensive, laborers are quite cheap. Paper mills, yeah, the same thing. Tooling workshops. We really need to make more tools, I think. Because they are... No, they're not too expensive, but let's not make crude tools at least. Let's bring the other ones up to at least pig iron. No, we want to have them all on steel tools, I think. That'll help keep... No, that's too much steel. Maybe we can switch one of them up to steel tools. What happens if we switch this one up? That will increase the price of steel. Base price should be 50 then, yeah. That's perfect. That'll bring it up into more profitable. And bring the price of tools down as well. Okay, so we're in a surplus again. This is really good. We have some bureaucracy left over. Let's see if we can't use that for something. We could incorporate Hess. This is going to cost us 204. We have that, so let's use it. We're going to need to go to our construction queue though, and let's bump those 3 up as well, I think. Now we want the dye plantations first, of course. And the lead mine. Let's try to finish the ones that are almost finished first. That mine can probably go down below the government admins. Okay, so we have a popular playwright endorses the performance. So it's passed around the first round, and we got a debate. And I think we want to take the enactment chance success here. The prestige would be nice too, of course, but no, let's take that performance. Okay, Bremen seems to have a little bit of a problem here. Maybe we can... And Hanover is going in on their side. Hanover does have some troops. We're not allowed to go in on Bremen's side. Why is that? Well, we do want to keep... Oh, we can't go in until the escalation is done, of course. How are we doing in Oldenburg? Don't have an obligation here with them yet. And they really, really, really don't like us. So we're gonna have a bit of a trouble getting them into... Maybe a defensive pact can help sway them over to our side a little bit more. If we can manage to force that through. And Hanover, we're not ready to integrate yet either. It's in 56. So Anhalt, it's finally time to become part of Prussia. Welcome to the fold. So now we have all of Anhalt under our jurisdiction. And it looks good. There's a lot of turmoil here from radical populations. It's going to take a long time to convert people over here. I think we can see the conversion rate somewhere. Or we should be able to see the peasants literary rate. Turmoil. Now we can only see the effects of it. We could increase the... Yeah, we're waiting for that to finish off, of course. No, we can't increase the law enforcement either until... Once we get the dedicated police force through, if we get it through, we can increase it up and get quite a lot less problem from turmoil. Okay, so we completed the North German Confederation. That's one of these missions down here. There's one here for German unification too. Which unlocks the creation of Germany, of course. And no, we're not looking at any of those. But this gives us the event of Towards Germany. The majority of North Germany has now been united under our banner. Hopes are high that this will soon lead to federation of all Germanies. From the scattered fiefdoms of the Holy Roman Empire to the chaos of Napoleon's wake, Germany has never truly been united. What the Prussian state has achieved today is a step towards the impossible and the inevitable. The statesmen responsible are national heroes, and we become the North German Federation. Or the world will know of our achievement, and we gain some extra influence and prestige for 5 years, and we become the North German Confederation. And who do we have here? We get Frederick Wilhelm von Hohenzollern, our king, and Marcus von Grebster. Who is this? The leader of the intelligentsia. Yeah, because I think we had to kick Bismarck out for a bit there from government. But I think we will take the prestige and the influence. I think that'll do us more good. And now we are the... of course, the diplomatic play is all over the place, but we are now the North German Federation. But this episode has gone on far too long now, so thank you very much for watching the North German Federation, and we will continue again next time towards Germany. Take care.